Kia ora tātou, how are we? Hope you're doing good, hope you're doing well, everything is sweet, good day. Here is a lesson on a little classical piece, nothing too hard, it's not exactly a hard piece, but it's a really cool one called Etude in E minor. So let's get onto this. Alright, so with this one, we're in E minor. Nice E minor chord right there. So the thing with this one is it's following just an E minor natural scale. Now if you're wondering what is an E minor natural scale, well pretty much you're starting on the sixth note of the major scale. So if you know your diatonic major scale, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, with the whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step thing going on, then you will know what I mean by it starts on the sixth. So it's just on the relative minor to G, which G is the relative major. Alright, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be starting this off with just an open E minor. And what we're going to be doing is so E minor natural scale. So if we're just going to be doing that, we're going to be starting off with an E, and we're going to treat the E as the 1. So even though I said it starts on the sixth note, it's the sixth note of the major scale, but we are going to be treating E as the 1. So we've got to go little I, not capital I, because it is a minor chord, right? So we're going to go with E, and then because it's just a natural minor scale, you'll follow the exact same intervals as the major scale, but you just start on the 6. So with 6 you go to 6 is your 1, so that's our 1, so that's E, high E. Then we're going to go whole step, that's to our diminished second or diminished seventh in the major scale. The major third, which is the 1 in a major scale, and it's a whole step. Then that's going to be a minor fourth, minor fifth, major sixth, major seventh, and a, I guess it's saying hello, and back to the 1 on the minor. So that's a natural minor scale. Now there are 3 minor scales that go around in music. The natural minor is the first one, then you got the melodic and the harmonic minor. I'm not going to get into those two on this video, but we are just going to touch on, that's why this Etude in E minor is such a good little exercise, just to get to know that scale. Right? So now with the bass notes, we're just going to be going with the E, there's an A, and there's a B in there. So what that would mean is you got an E minor, an A minor, a B7. So those are for the little verse part, or the first section. Then there's a second section which has an E minor, an A minor, a D7 to a G, and then G I should say, and then it goes to back to an E minor. A minor, back to B7, and back to E minor. Alright. Cool. Alright, so let's get this going. So the finger pattern down here is the same. It's the same the whole way through, and you're going to be doing this. It's going to be high E and low E together, and then B and G. Okay, so we're going to go. Alright. Just like that. And that's the pattern. Right, That's the general pattern. It might change just slightly where you play your bass note, because that bass note just determines when you're changing chord. With this, because it's the way it is, it's what we call like an arpeggiated kind of rhythm. So we're picking the notes of the chords individually is what an arpeggiation is. So what we're going to do is we're going to go open first, then to the third. Alright, so then to the third of the high E. So right now we're just going to be doing everything on high E. Alright, so we're going to go open, third, third. So what I've done here is I've actually moved my hands, my first, second and third finger into a D7 kind of chord right here. And what happens is that we're going to go open, third, third. We're going to hit this. So this is where my fingers behind my pinky end up making like a D7 chord. I'm going to keep that pinky on the third for the first one that I hit. And when I hit that next one, it's the high E and the A string. So now I've changed chord to A minor, which is what this is outlining. So this part here is outlining that A minor shape. The reason why I'm doing it in the D7, because I'm going to lift off my pinky from the third and it's going to get the second fret here on the high E, which is a F sharp. Alright, all a part of that E minor natural scale. So we've got this. Right? So when I've hit this part, I've hit the A and the high E, still got my pinky on the third. So and then I still come down there, B and G, and then I lift off the pinky, exposing like this D7 shape. But really we're playing A minor because I'm playing it over the top of that A root note. Right? So we're going like this. Alright, one more time. Cool. Now the next part here, we got to use a bar because we're going to be playing a B7 chord. Now with this one, we're going to be taking it up our pinky to the A string here. We're not going to be playing a B7 like this. So this is a B7 bar chord right here. Right, I'm only going to be wanting to use, because we're only going to be playing these top three strings, right? So the high E, the B, and the G. And what I want to do is I want to bar, so that way I'm getting this note here on the G. I'm also getting the B bass note, which makes it a B7. Alright, so this note here is actually an A, hence why it's a dominant seventh on the B. So that note there is an A. Then you want to have your third finger on the fourth fret of the B, and then your pinky on the fifth fret of the high E. Alright, so then we're going to go. So what we're going to be doing here is going to be walking down the scale. So we're going to be walking down from this A note on the fifth fret of the high E. Then with our second finger, we're going to put it on the third fret of the high E. And I shouldn't have played the B note when I played that third fret of the high E. So we'll do that again. And that's why you want to bar it, because you want to have this F sharp note in there too, the second fret of the high E. So that way we've got the second fret of the A string, the second fret of the G, and the second fret of the high E in there too. Alright? So we're doing that one more time. I'll do that one more time. So we're going to, as we, remember when we switch, we want to play the bass note with your thumb. So I've got that high E plus the thumb going on with the transition, and high E should be on the fifth fret of the E string, high E. Alright. Now after that, so when we go back, you want to to go up to the 7th fret here on the high E. And open again. This is just like the start. But this time, you just go to the open, low E and high E. Then you can do some harmonics at the end. It's all on the 12th fret of the high E, B, and G. Cool. So I'll do that again. So up to the 7th fret. And just back around the start. And then just land on the open. Cool. So that's the first section of the song. The second section, it starts to change. It introduces a D7 and also the G chord into this as well. G being the relative major, it gives it a bit of a shift in the music. Makes it a bit more brighter, I guess, if you want to put it that way. Remember, minor chords are sad, major chords are happy. So how this one starts is we're going to go open, 3rd, 7. And now with this part, I'm going to bar the 5th on the high E, the B, and the G. So we're going to bar that one. We're going to keep our pinky on the 7th fret here. And when I hit this one, this is another version of A minor. So we're going to go, well, A minor with a B melody note, I guess, if you want to put it. Sorry, piano players, if you go, that's not what he's supposed to say. This is just the way that I interpret it as a guitarist. So we've got the low A, we've got the A going on, so the A string open, and then we've got the 7th fret with your pinky, and then the barring with your first finger on the 5th fret. And that's still that E minor natural scale run. So we got 7, 5, 8, just on the high E. So that's why we're going 7 with the pinky, let it off, exposing that 5th fret, that A note on the high E, and then come out to the 8th fret with your pinky, which is a C note. Right? So we go. So I'll do that one more time. So we're going to go open, 3rd fret, 7th fret, bar the 5th fret with your first finger, and then hit the low A when you hit the 7th fret of the high E. Then open to 5th, and then out to the 8th. Now we're going to come down to a D7 chord. And when we play this D7, we're actually going to play a D7. So what we do here is we go D string, and we're going to play this F sharp on the 2nd fret of the high E. And we're going to then place our pinky on the 3rd fret after that. Then we're going to extend out this D7 to another version of it. Right here, which is just 2nd finger on the 5th fret of the G, 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the high E, and this finger comes to the 3rd fret of the B. So 1st finger on the 3rd fret of the B, 2nd finger here is on the 5th fret of the G, and the high E has on the 5th fret of the A. 5th fret of the E, which is an A note. And then you're just going to play that. Right? So this is what it's like. Just like that. Right? So I'll play it from the start of that 2nd section. 3rd fret, 7th fret, bar the 5th, open to 5 down to 8, D7, 3rd fret, another version of D7, and then we're going to switch up and introduce the G chord. What we're going to do is we're just going to play the G note on the bottom E here, on the low E, and move the 1st finger up to the 3rd fret of the low E. And you're going to keep this here on the 5th fret, so you're going to keep your 3rd finger on the 5th fret here. And you're going to open your B and your G up, So after you've hit that, the 3rd fret of the low E, 5th fret of the high E, you're going to come back to the 3rd fret of the high E, and then out to the 7th fret of the high E. Alright, so I'll play that from the D7 part. Alright, and once you do that, then you just go back to the actual start of the first section again, and you just play the end of that first section, right? So the end of that first section. So you'll be playing. Just like that. Now, if you're wondering, how do you do harmonics? How did we get the harmonics again? Well, all it is, the easiest spot to do this on is on the 12th fret, but you can do this on any fret. Just the 12th fret is the easiest one, and usually the one that we first start to learn how to do harmonics on. What you just do is right over the top of the fret. So you want to get over the top of it. So you don't want to be behind the fret or in front of the fret, you want to be over the top. So here is my 12th fret here. For classical players, it's usually the fret that's in line with the body of the guitar is the 12th. If you have the dots on the top, it might be marked with a double dot. It might be marked with just a dot that's over here. But what we do know is that that is the 12th. Cool. So with that 12th fret, we're just going to go right over the top of the frets, and you just very lightly touch them and strike the string. Alright, I'm not fretting them, I'm not pushing down. Alright, it's a different sound. It's more of a chimey sound with harmonics.